Hello, my name is Song. I'm a principal engineer here at GitLab. So today, this is going to be a demo on the initial POC for Cloudflare Worker. Um, as you can see in this issue, so this is a demo on what's available so far, and there's yet more to come. But there's some interesting insights, so I thought I'll show the demo and then discuss what's available and what's yet to come. All right, let's get on the demo. So the first thing first is that we need to have two GitLab instances to compose a cell, and that was achieved by setting up by using the GTK cells development guide over here. So we installed another GTK. So we have one GTK at 3000 and another GTK at 3001. And we can see that they have different groups already. So that's part of functionality that now works today. Not everything works, of course. It's still in active development. And now what I've done is I've implemented a surprisingly quick way to route between these two GTKs using a single domain. So, and it's using Cloudflare Workers. So if we first start the Cloudflare Worker, this is the local emulation, by the way. So that starts, and then we can now navigate to gdk.test8787 as requested. It should it shows the cell number 1 by default, and that is seen here. So this is exactly the same here, and you can click through to a project within things, and it will navigate fine. And if you look at groups, it will show the groups of cell number 1. So what it doesn't do is that it doesn't show groups like the aggregated list of groups for everything. That's not implemented yet. So how do we route to cell 2? So for example, in cell 2, we have this test cell group that's only that's stored in cell 2. Apologies for the typo. So that is achievable by just updating the URL, and yeah, it routes correctly to cell 2, and you can see that that's exactly the same page. Oh. And you can also navigate to a project as well. So well, this is the direct page, but in the via the Cloudflare Worker, you can also navigate to the project as well. And I think members sub-project resources work as well, but things that do not belong under a group or a project wouldn't work. So for example, the home page. So yeah, so that's the demo. Now let's discuss what has been implemented and what's missing, and some of the complexities. So if we that's not what I wanted to do for some reason. I wanted to open a new tab. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I'm going to show you the code of the Cloudflare Worker. So over here, this is basically a handler, and we are really just delegating this to this handler proxy thing. only, and nothing else. We can do other things as well, like for example, fetch from a cache instead of proxying, but that's not done yet. So if we open up the code for the proxy, you can see here it's very short, which is great. And what we've done here is that we have a default which points to 3000, which is the first cell, and over here we can log the URL to be proxied to, and this is implemented using the redirect header approach, in that it optimistically routes to the first cell, which is where I suppose one says is most of the data, 99% of the data. And if the cell finds that, if the cell finds that it's the right data, it's the right group, then it renders the page as normal and doesn't return any redirect headers, doesn't return the special redirect header. And so we just return the response, and that's great. But if, let's just say we get this group that belongs on the cell 2, and because we're requesting it from cell 1 that doesn't exist, then cell 1 knows enough about that to say, hey, that group actually exists on a different on cell 2. So here's the endpoint for cell 2, and please. So what we do is that we update the host from cell 1 to cell 2. So you can see if we try that again, you can, oh, that's a lot of, yeah, there we go. So we started off with asking for 3000, but then we redirected it to cell 2. There should be a, yeah, there we go. It says wrong cell. Then the new request to make is test cell group. Yeah, for the second cell 3001. So that's the Cloudflare side of things. It's surprisingly easy. Now, in terms of, I also had to make some modifications to the backend, to the Rails side as well. So in terms of the Rails side, the main this is not 100%. This may not be the final approach, by the way. So in app models concerned around Turbo, what I've done is that this find by full path is used in a lot of places. So this is a natural place to hook in. So for example, to find the route record for a group, or to find the route record for a project. And what happens here is that we can associate a particular route to a cell, or we could have done it by organization, but it's the same thing. Ultimately, we're associating it to a cell, and then if the cell is not matching the cell of the ID of this cell, then we raise the error, and then what we do is that in another place where we call this, we rescue it. Let me try and find where did I do it? Yeah, in the controller. We rescue it, return a header of X of this thing with the endpoint, with the correct endpoint. So for example, 127.0.0.1 3001. And then the addition that I made was to extend GitLab.yaml to say, where is cells? Yeah. So for this cell, the cell that's on port 3000. No, it's not here. anyway, so for this cell, it's ID1. I've assigned it our ID1. And if we go to the second cell, and I've assigned it ID2. So that's how each cell knows what its cell ID is. This is just one way, by the way. It's not necessarily the final approach, but it works enough for us to evaluate which router we want to achieve as well. Another thing that we have defined is the list of available endpoints, and for now I've only defined it on the primary cell. I think in future we'll probably implement it outside of either cell. Yeah, so other things. So the main thing, as you can see, that's not implemented right now is that if something's outside that's not a resource that's a group or project or sub resource of either a group or project, then we need to be able to find another way to route this, and this is not implemented right now. Like, yeah. What other things that I needed to change? So we go git status. Nothing has been changed. Ignore the script. This is the script of the video. If we go git status, nothing has been changed. But yeah, if you kind of show the diff of the code. Anything else? Well, this just implements the changes to GitLab.yaml. I have created a sales database table, but yeah, I haven't done the work to populate the sales table yet. I've also added the cell ID column on the routes table, but I haven't done anything to populate that properly. So for now, for the purposes of the demo, what I did was I just went to the database and yeah, so populated that manually. So if you I'll show you. So if we select stuff from routes where cell ID equals 2, oh, it's that's the wrong database. Let's switch to GitLab HQ main cluster wide. Sorry. Oh, I can't connect here because I'm in the wrong host. Maybe this will work. This work? Oh yeah, cool. The routes here. So what I did was that I manually just found each of these records by hand and then manually assigned ID2, updated this column to ID2 for each of these records. Yeah. What else? Let's look at the diff again. SQL. This is another endpoint that I used for the learn endpoint, and it's similar. But the drawback of this approach is that it's really hard to know for an arbitrary URL what it is really. So if we do this, then we have to use some sort of some version of Rails recognized path or something like that, which might not be suitable, but yeah, something to discuss. Then Yes, yeah, because for recognizing paths, we do use find by full path here in to figure out if this if slash some group name is a correct path. So in case where the cell error is in case where the group actually exists but it's on the wrong cell, we just return true and just to tell Rails that hey, it's a valid path. Yeah, and not raise a 4 by mistake. Yeah, just over here is just some code for convenience so that I can find the cell easily. Might be replaced by finding from the model if we have the cells model. So another kind of issue that I found was that to get it rendering, I had a lot of issues with content security policy for some reason. So I had to manually define unsafe eval and GTK test for this GitLab YAML, and I guess what we're missing here is the ability for GTK to configure this. It looks like we're missing this from GTK, so I have to manually add this in. Otherwise, yeah, there's a lot of things that already work in GTK. Oh yes, let's show you that for this demo to work as well. I needed to change a few things, namely the host name, GTK test, so that we can have a and then change the port as well. So for both cells. So is this GTK2? No, this is GTK2. So yeah, so we have to, both of the cells needs to have the correct host name and the correct port as well. So to kind of repeat myself, both GTKs listens to different ports. So this one listens to port 3000 and this one listens to port 3001, but the host name and the port should be configured both to the same domain GTK test, so that things like links can generate correctly. You can see here, if you look in if I click into it, for example, you can see that, yeah, it generates the correct link instead of generating 127.org. Yeah, so this is the demo, quick progress demo on changes to the Rails app and also Cloudflare Worker routing. Thanks.